Welcome, everybody. It's wonderful that you came today. We're happy to have you. And thank you, Liz and the Engage team, for having us. Noni and I know how tricky it can be to get to one more thing in a busy day, and one more thing in a busy week. And making time for meditation is really a wonderful thing, so we're very thrilled that you did that. Thank you. My name is Tess, and this is Noni. Today we're going to talk about mindfulness techniques. And these are techniques that we use to center ourselves during the busy day rather than just during meditation. It's kind of like meditation for the daytime when you're active. But before we get into that, can I tell you a story?
Yes. Your storytelling.
In the last class, Noni mentioned something that bears repeating. She said, happiness is a choice. And that itself is a mindfulness practice. And I'd like to share with you how I came to put that theory, happiness is a choice, to the test in my life. I came to do it on a bad day, a really bad day. I had been sick for 6 months with a cough that wouldn't go away. No matter how many times they treated me, it just got worse. Finally, they figured out what it was, and I got the news that I had 4 tumors that had metastasized from my lung, and they were right here, size of my fist, and they were closing my trachea and my esophagus. I had a strangulation cough. No wonder antibiotics didn't work. So I had to press the oncologist for some prognostications, and he said if I did the chemo and the radiation, I'd probably live a couple of months. But I had already gotten so weak, I knew I couldn't do both. So I rolled the dice on radiation and said, keep the chemo. And he said, well, then you can expect to live a few weeks. So, faced with that, I decided to try this happiness is a choice thing. Why not? You can't lose at that point, right, Ms. Burns?
Well, I've been in the same boat you've been.
Yeah, see?
So things require at the moment.
So there's no time like the present to try it. So I tried that. And I tried to lead my mind in the direction of happiness. And I decided at that time that the rest of my life, no matter how long or short it would be, it wasn't going to be about dying. It was going to be about living. And it was going to be about living with joy. So I made a decision to squeeze every ounce of joy that I could out of every moment. And I did that simply by the mindfulness practice of being present in the moment and appreciating the moment. And when you do that, you lose the future and the past for the moment while you're focusing in the present, and you can fully enjoy the present. And your true nature of joy and peacefulness can bubble up because you're not weighed down by thoughts of the future and the past. Not that you don't deal with the future and the past. You do that when you're ready to. You say, it's not time for that. And you do that while you're doing that. Then you go do something else while you're doing something else. But you always do one thing at a time, mindfully. So doing those practices, I have to say, 10 years later, I'm still here. I continue, the tumor haven't killed me yet, and I'm really grateful for that. But I have to say, I've not had a bad day since. I have to say, that was my last bad day. I've had a ton of challenging days. I've had losses. I've had illness. I've had injuries, surgeries, rehabs. But I've not had a bad day because I choose to find something wonderful in every day. So what is mindfulness? And why is it important to our happiness? Mindfulness is defined as the act of focusing our complete awareness in the present. Why practice mindfulness? Zen master Thich Nhat Hanh, who wrote a book, Miracle of Mindfulness, says, mindfulness is the miracle by which we master and restore ourselves. It can call back in a flash our dispersed mind and restore it to wholeness so that we can live each moment of life. Why is it necessary to be mindful or to be present? To really live, to really feel joy, you have to be here now. You can't do it in the past, you can't do it in the future. It's only now. And we're so busy, we're so pressed, we're so pulled in so many directions at once. We're rarely in the present. We worry about tomorrow, we work yesterday. We're so busy doing so many things at once that the present just slips by. To be present allows us to be open to wonder, and that is our true nature. Someone once asked the Dalai Lama what perplexed him the most about humanity, and his answer was, man, because he sacrifices his health in order to make money, and then he sacrifices his money to recuperate his health, and then he's so anxious about the future he doesn't enjoy the present, and eventually he dies never having lived. When we're not fully present, when our minds are scattered, we're not in control of our minds. The breath is the bridge between the body and the mind. Mindful pausing and breathing is a tool to collect our scattered thoughts, our scattered energies. And this is why we use the Hamsa breath mantra. Mindful breathing anchors us in the present moment, relaxing and calming both the body and the mind. It reduces anxiety, it helps with burnout, provides pain relief, and also decreases negative thoughts. In mindful breathing, we pay attention to the sensation of the breath coming in and going out. We're going to demonstrate and offer you a mindful breathing exercise. It's also known as a square breath or yogic breath. It's an exercise you can do at any time during the day to recenter yourself and refocus your energy. It goes like this. You inhale slowly and deeply through your nostrils if possible for a count of 3, and then hold for a count of 3, and then exhale slowly and fully for a count of 3, and then hold for a count of 3. Then you resume your normal rate of breathing. Now, if you have difficulty holding a 3 count, if this feels at all uncomfortable, you can reduce it to a 2 count or a 1 count, or just follow your normal rate of breathing, but do it intentionally. Really pay attention to the in and the out breath. So we'll do it together. Inhale, 2, 3, hold, 2, 3, exhale, 2, 3, hold, 2, 3. Breathe normally. And at just that moment, you can completely relax your mind and body and be refreshed for the next thing that awaits your attention. Another mindfulness technique that we use many times a day is inviting nature to center and restore us. Between tasks, I like to step outside and listen to the birds, check on what flowers are opening, maybe smell a few. Savor the sweetness of some fresh summer berries. Walk barefoot on some cool moss, or just run your hand across dewy grass in the morning. If you pause and smile and engage your senses and connect with nature and yourself, you can find a great deal of energy and restoration of your spirit very quickly, 100 times a day if you need. It just takes a moment to feel and appreciate the warm breeze or the heat of the sun today, or a cool rain that we might get this afternoon. Yes, and a beautiful butterfly, yes. So I make it a daily practice to seek out something every day. Usually for me, it's maybe 50 times a day that fills me with wonder. And that ensures that I have a heart filled with joy. In Plum Village, which is Thich Nhat Hanh's spiritual community in France, every quarter of an hour they invite a bell to ring, and they do this for a mindfulness break. The bell rings and everyone stops what they're working on, and they take a mindful breath just like we did, and they smile. And then when that's done, they go back to the next task, happy, restored, and focused. So we invite you to go ahead and try these techniques in your day-to-day life and see how it makes you feel. We have a student who is turning 92 years old this week, and she recently said to us, "Where have you been all my life?" She started just recently doing these mindfulness techniques, and she can't wait in the morning to get up and run to the window to see what's happening out there, what flowers are opening, what butterflies are landing, what can she be filled with wonder with? And she's just having the time of her life. After class today, you'll get a handout, and the handout has lots of mindfulness techniques that you can employ on your own time during your day as you wish. And now a word about multitasking. Please don't do it. It's bad for you. It's bad for your brain. They've done a lot of research on this, and they find that multitaskers are 50% less effective and make 50% more errors. So multitasking is literally the opposite of mindfulness. It makes us miss life because we're so scattered and distracted. And
Can you give us an example of what you consider multitasking?
how about watching TV and checking the phone texts, or working and checking the phone?
So don't do the laundry and cook soup.
Well, that's mild multitasking, and it does require, two different trains of thought in your brain to manage both, right? But it's a milder kind because it's
One's
passive
really
on one
active,
end
yeah.
for a while, and so you can stop cooking to tend to the laundry and then stop the laundry to tend to the cooking. So you're kind of serial tasking.
I'm a serial
Yeah.
tasker. Okay.
How about watching TV and eating dinner?
I recommend that you don't. Yeah, it's to be mindful while eating is a beautiful thing. I like to be silent when I eat, and just appreciate what I'm eating, where it came from, who sacrificed their labor to produce it, what went into it, the rain, the sun, the soil, farm workers. And you miss out on that opportunity to have so much gratitude if you're distracting yourself with television, right? So that's just my opinion. I'm happier doing it my way.
Plus, you don't want to eat what you're watching on TV.
Like the energy from television
I want that.
while you're eating is a whole other thing.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's very true. Thank you. So instead of multitasking, we can offer this. Try doing one task at a time with 100% focus. Right? And then when you're done, take a mindfulness break. Just stop, smile, do some mindful breathing, and then resume, go on to the next task, focused and filled with energy. The researchers tell us this is way more effective. I don't know if I'm more effective by doing this, but I can tell you I'm tons happier and I have way more energy and more mental focus too, because I'm not distracted. So it's maybe worth a try. You can tell us how it works for you. And now, Noni is going to lead us in a dharana, or guided meditation.
So, you've been sitting still. It might be good to shake your arms and legs and stretch a little bit. And make yourself comfortable after. You can stand up if you'd like. You can stay seated if you prefer. Today is our first try with a video of what we're doing. And I'm going to preface what we do today by saying it's much more powerful in person than it is by machine, because when you're by yourself, it's just your energy focus. And when you're with a group of people who are trying to do the same goal, the energy rises. And so you're supported in what you do. So, first, place both of your feet flat on the floor or on a solid surface. Put your knees and your feet hip width apart. If you're seated on the floor, Christina is a beautiful example. A cushion so that your hips are higher than your knees. And then those of us who are in a chair, just to be as straight as you can, but not to force anything. Let the back of your neck elongate as much as is comfortable for you. And again, don't force anything. Ever so slowly, tuck your chin down just a wee bit. This will help the back of the head to rise a little bit more toward the ceiling. Then you can place your hands on your hips and on your thighs with the palms up. No, not like that. Folding around. With your palms up or your palms down, whichever is more comfortable. And if that position is not good for you, we want you to be comfortable. That's the best thing. Please close your eyes and let your eyes soften. Smile. Let your face and your jaw muscles completely relax. And then the muscles of your neck and shoulders soften and release all tension. Take a moment and scan your body for any areas of stress or discomfort, and breathe warmth and relaxation to those areas. Please take in a deep, slow breath and then release that breath fully. Again, a nice deep breath in and exhale fully. And one more deep breath in and exhale fully. And then return to your normal rate of breathing. We're going to use the same mantra that we've been using. It's called a breath mantra. It's H-A-M-S-A, Hamsa. Hum on the in-breath, Saw on the out breath. When we take an in breath and silently repeat hum, we're being present and mindful in that very moment. When we exhale and silently repeat Sa, we're being present to our breath, our life force, our existence, and the greatness of our being. Thoughts will come and go as we meditate, and this is natural. You don't have to fight with them. You don't have to resist them. Simply notice them and then gently return to focusing on your breathing and repeating the breath mantra, hum on the in-breath and saw on the out-breath. Tess likes to tell the story of one of her teachers who said they opened the front door of their minds for thoughts to come in, and they open the back doors so the thoughts can leave. They don't invite their thoughts in for tea. So now, smile a nice, great, big, beautiful smile. Go ahead and try it. Silently repeat hum on your in-breath. And saw on your out-breath. I am that essence which is fully present and aware. Hum on the in-breath, saw on the out-breath. I am that presence which is fully present and aware. Try another big, beautiful smile. Hum on the in-breath, saw on your out-breath. I am that essence which is pure joy. Hum on the in-breath, saw on the out-breath. Hum on your in-breath, saw on your out-breath. You can continue in this way. The bell will ring when we finish. Meditate. You may wish to take a nice deep breath and let it out fully. You don't have to rush to open your eyes. It's always good to take a little time to come back into the room. It's essential that you remember every time you meditate to wiggle your feet. Make sure they're aligned. Make sure that they are going to be able to support you when it's time to get home. Does anyone have any questions or any comments?
When you're meditating, you all of a sudden become unconscious. You know what I mean? Like, you're not aware of anything that's around you.
Yes.
Exactly. And I kept going in and out of it. I'm like, am I falling asleep? So I'm not really not falling over. I'm like, what am I doing? What is that? Is that what you're supposed to-
Congratulations.
Oh, really? Is that what you're supposed to
Yeah.
do?
That is called the Turiya state. That is the deep state of relaxation and meditation.
It was freaky.
Yeah.
I'm like, wow.
Well, you're gonna get to like it because there's nothing more relaxing once you get used
But
to it.
you get kind of frightened because you feel like you're out of control. Like you're not in control anymore.
Yeah.
But your body is upright and you're not losing. It's not like falling asleep. It's just.
When I first began meditating, I have actually, okay, thanks. That would help too. When I first started meditating, I had experiences quite a few times where I always meditated sitting, and I still felt like I fell,
But you didn't.
but I didn't. I was in my chair. But I think it's your consciousness shifting, and you lose track of your body because you get so relaxed and your consciousness expands so much that when you come back into body awareness, it's a bit of a little tiny jolt.
Okay, you're sitting upright and you're on the floor.
But over time, that becomes less noticeable and more easy.
And it lasts longer.
Yes. When I sit for meditation now, most of the time, I go fairly quickly into a deep state. Sometimes a thought will come and intrude, but I'll just take a nice mindful breath, repeat the mantra, and back I go.
So how do you keep track of time?
How do what?
How do you keep track of time?
I keep a watch or clock nearby, not an alarm, because that's very jarring when it goes off. If you're in a deep state, you don't want to hear that. I promise. So I just have a stopwatch so that I can open one eye just a little tiny bit and see what time it is. Yeah.
So when you're coming out of that state.
Yeah.
I mean.
Right, when you come back. If you're in that state, enjoy it.
I
Just stay
like,
there.
yeah,
Don't
it's
rush to
cool.
leave.
It's like almost like an out of body.
It is. It is. Because you what you're doing is getting in touch with your pure consciousness, which is not your body. You know, you're not your body and you're not your mind. You're your consciousness. So you touched your actual capital S self. That was who you were visiting. Yeah, how about that? Any other questions, comments?
I don't have that experience. I'm aware, and then all of a sudden I'm just gone. And then Tess will go, clear her throat, or Noni, and I'm back. I'm not aware that I go sinking anywhere or anything. I'm just gone.
So you're not sensing the difference in
No,
your state. You know?
no. But I will say that one thing that I have been blessed with is a shift in what I see with my eyes closed. Usually it's perfectly black. And then all of a sudden, there will be light. And I haven't opened my eyes. No one's turned on the light. So if anyone has that experience, that would be cool too. I find it to be very reassuring. Since I was a little kid, that light would come when I would pray for people, and I thought everybody had that experience. but nobody talked about it. I thought it was just commonplace.
So,
So-
just you.
It was just,
The lights on.
I was just the one with the light that was on. So if I can't meditate, I'll do the mantra. And so if I can't meditate, then I'll pray for someone, and then that light will come, and then I'm gone. So there's all that. Is there anybody else who's had an experience? Because sometimes, like with Margie, you might become a little worried about what has or hasn't happened. Yes, sir.
I learned how to do all this in the hospital,
Yes.
and I couldn't sleep.
Yes.
I was taught, smell the flowers,
Mhm.
Holy.
blow out the candles. That's so I can remember.
Yeah.
I mean, I can't remember. And, but I have yet to get past 12. Okay, I get to 12. I don't remember 12 or 13. I'm gone. You're
Right,
gone.
right.
Yes.
And I do have good dreams.
Great.
Actually, I've always
These guys don't know who Rat Collins is. Don't do that.
Oh, see,
I know, it's terrible.
Is there anyone else who might have a question or a comment? We hope that you will come again next month. And the handout that Liz gave you at the beginning, or it will be on her site, or you can call her office, and they'll let you know when the next time is. And then we have the handouts, and Christina is going to come and give you one. Our next program is going to be the first of a 3-part series. So it would be good if you have any friends to invite them to come to all 3 of them so they don't miss out. I was waiting, I thought somebody was going to say something. We're good. So it's a 3-part series on peace. Peace in the mind, peace in your heart, peace in the world. And there will be some music.
Yes.
Dancing?
Well,
Really
remains to be seen.
That's why you want us to bring a friend, so we've got a partner.
Maybe.
Okay. Thank you.
Namaste.
Namaste. Thank you.
Have a wonderful couple of next weeks. And do these because they work.
I do have a question. One, I meditate. Notice it's really good to keep my head up. And it helps keep posture. So I come out of it to correct that. How important is that?
Posture is not the most important thing, right?
Can you-
Meditating comfortably.
Yeah.
I'm sorry. Here we go again. Need my mask.
Yes, okay.
Posture is not the most important thing. Meditating comfortably is. So if you have to lay down to meditate comfortably, do it laying down. On your side, that's sometimes a comfortable position, do that. However you can be comfortable, you can recline in the chair and meditate comfortably.
I do that, but it still feels like
Yeah.
head pounding.
is it against the rules to fall asleep?
No. If you fall asleep when you're meditating, that's not a bad sleep. It'll be one of the best sleeps you've had.
Oh, they are.
But did you tell us last time that you shouldn't meditate before bedtime?
It's not encouraged, especially in the beginning, to meditate right before bed because it kind of trains your brain to confuse sleeping and, meditating. Also, some people find that their brain wakes up a bit after meditating. And so if you get an extra shot of mental energy right before bed, you might not sleep. So that's another reason. But I meditate before going to bed.
Oh, you do?
But I've been doing it almost 50 years now.
And in the morning too? Do you meditate? Yeah.
I meditate whenever I feel like it.
Yeah.
Little meditations in the morning, but my long meditation is at night.
And how long do you meditate for?
20 to 40 minutes right before bed.
40 minutes.
It's beautiful.
What do you do 10 minutes a day then? What do we do for that?
We did 15.
Oh, 15.
Yeah.
Is that what you mean?
Yeah. All right. Thank you, everybody.
Thank you.
Yeah.